Another day and another project. And there's some wasps. I see them building a nest. Nature's gonna do its thing. Anyway, we've got something new on the channel, and I'm really excited to show you guys because it has been a while since we've had a new car on the channel. And, you know, I've had the same cars for a while. You guys have seen Dusty, the Skyline, and the RX-7, the 3-rotor. Well, one of them has left. And it's bittersweet because I've been done just building those cars and I'm ready for something new. So let's just cut through the crap. The new car is here. I had to drive pretty far to go get it, but it was a pretty interesting road trip because the owner of the car, before I tell you what it is, the owner of the car had not driven the car in years. And I was worried about the condition of everything. The tires, you name it, all the hoses, whatever. It's an old car. It's 35 years old. So 30-plus-year-old cars need maintenance. They need to be kept. In other words, if you let them sit, they're probably going to fall apart. So, without further ado, I will show you what we got. You guys ready? Don't hate. Here it is. Check it out. This is the next project that I'm going to play around with. I've always remembered these from my childhood. I'm an older dude, so the 80s and the 90s were memorable for me. So this car is 1990 C4 Corvette, and I'm just going to have fun with this because first and foremost, it's a manual transmission. So you know it's going to be fun. 1990, you might be thinking, why in the world are you getting some old crap jack? Why are you doing that? Fiberglass. This one's actually not too bad. You can see there's some shine on the paint still, so I'm pretty happy about that. And interior is pretty decent. Look at that. Huh? Pretty happy about that. And some of you might be looking really close right now going, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. This ain't no regular C4 Corvette, guys. This, in case you haven't guessed, is a ZR1. I'm happy about that, in case you can't tell. This is such a cool car. From my childhood, I remember the ZR1 as being an absolute beast of a car. It put Porsche on notice. It put Ferrari on notice. It put all the big dogs on notice because they worked hard and long on developing what is essentially the American supercar right here. This is 1990. Don't forget, we're talking about old stuff. And the real meat and the potatoes is in the motor because GM was very adamant about building something technologically advanced that was going to stand the test of time and be able to show out with the big boys. And here we go. Under the hood, under this massive clamshell hood, is a project from Lotus, GM, and Mercury Marine. The 32-valve 4-cam LT5, the original bad boy right there. I'm so happy. You guys have no idea. This is such a rare treat to have the King of the Hill in my garage. I'm super stoked on this. So this is a very powerful motor. They rated them at 375 this year, and then they uprated them 2 years later, 3 years later to 405 because they started to realize how much potential was untapped in these motors. So getting these motors to 500 horsepower is relatively simple. It's literally just some intake porting and exhaust, and you've got it. Really cool technology. If you want to do a little research on that, I won't bore you to death, but I'll give you the basics. The the time that they were building these, fuel injectors were not that big. So they were experimenting and they ran out of fuel with 8 injectors. So they added 8 more. So there's 16 injectors on this thing to keep it happy at those power levels. And that really unleashed the beast. Another great thing about it has selectable or adjustable suspension. So you've got your touring, you've got your sport, and you've got your performance right here. And adjust on the fly, and that works, and it's really cool to feel that. ZF6 transmission, that thing just shifts, feels so solid. Great transmission. And some of you may notice also on these cars, they made them a little wider in the back. 3 inches wider to be exact. And all the bodywork, the fenders, and even the doors had to be sloped properly to meet that, because the front of the car is still just like any other C4, but besides the LT5 and the suspension. But the back of the car is physically different. So, and the reason for that also is because they put massive 315 tires in the back. Especially on this car, they were made for this car. This was one of the design elements. So 315s in the back makes this thing beefy, beefy, beefy. And that shows up on the track because this thing smoked everything on the track, around the track. And then it went on to set speed records. So GM went for the all-out speed record. They went 4,000 miles in this car, or not this one, but you know what I mean, in the test bed. They went 4,000 miles in the ZR1 while testing and averaged 175 miles an hour. Top speed over 180. Crazy, crazy history on these cars, and I am so stoked to have it. If you look at the price of C4s, they bottomed out pretty much, so that was my cue to go find one. And I'm really happy. We're gonna go through the car first and do everything we need to do to make it as good as it can be right now. And first thing we did was just go over all the systems, make sure brakes were working good, everything was doing what it's supposed to do, fuel, suspension, things of that nature. AC works, heat works, all that stuff. So I'm really happy about that. Next thing though we have to tackle is there's a couple of things. The gauges need some attention. The LCD display is not burned out, but oranged out, and it doesn't show anything. And that is most likely because of a bad connector. I'm gonna go ahead and fix that. But you can see when I turn it on, it just goes orange. That's it. Can't see anything. The other thing is the tack. Tack is messed up. When the car starts, which why not? Let's go for it. You can see the tack just goes limp, and that is a problem on the board itself. So I'm going to attack those items. I'm going to go ahead and take the LCD out, see if I can fix the connection and replace the IC that is controlling the tack. So stay tuned for that. We'll do that in the next video. But I wanted to give you a full rundown of this car in its current shape. And you can see here, full engine power, pretty cool. So this little key down here is what controls that. And when you turn this key off, you can see the light goes away. And when you turn the key on, the light comes on. And that controls the extra 8 runners and injectors that are on the intake manifold. Really crazy technology, really crazy stuff for the time. And it would literally add 100 horsepower just by doing that. So a technology marvel, a industry giant, juggernaut of the time in our hands, and I'm super, super stoked on it. So stay tuned. We're gonna go ahead and get this thing totally dialed in. So it is everything it should be. What a monster. And the interior, I can't tell you guys, the interior is really good. You can see the bolsters are intact, no holes or anything, and everything works. The windows all work. Targa doesn't leak. I mean, this thing, I drove it for it was a 5-hour trip to go get it, 5 hours driving to drive it back. And when I first picked it up, it was really scary because it was nighttime. I hadn't even tested the car. The guy hadn't driven it in years, and there was just storms across the whole state. So it was 5 hours of driving at night in the rain. It was hectic. But we got her home. Everything's good, and I'm happy. So there it is, 1990 ZR1. Tell me what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one.